Forex will humble you. Well, last week I took a couple of losses on my account, the 8K good funded account. From $300, I came down to $160 in profit. It was still good because I'm in profit, I'm not in drawdown, so it was still good for me. But I was kind of not happy about it because being in $300 and coming down to $160 looks like a retrogression to the account. And I said this week I'm going to try as much as possible to make profit for the account. Well, I did make losses. I made some losses again this week, and that's one thing about forex trading, because when you plan for forex will also plan for you. So I was planning for forex that I'm going to make profit, and forex was planning how to take my money away, and kudos to forex, they won and they took my money away. So basically this week was a very rough week again. I took a couple of trades, about 3 trades this week, although I was holding some trades last week that I held them into this week, which is the trade for NZD USD. That trade was very stupid. I don't know if I can say that, but it was a very bad trade. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very bad trade, because how can I hold a trade for 6 days, like a week, and never saw blue on that trade? Like, it was just always on the red. And after how many days, although the trade was affected by the DXY lethargic price action, like I don't know what is happening with the DXY, the dollar, the US government lockdown, everything is just like going against the DXY, even though the overall trend on DXY is kind of like pointing to bullish, but the bullishness has not resumed after that massive pullback that we are currently experiencing. And I thought to myself that that was going to end this week, so the hope of holding that NZD USD was very strong, and I believe that the trade was going to just shoot the upside this week, but it never happened. Even though we are currently in the weekly fair value gap, where I expected that price is going to run away from, but we are still inside that fair value, and I know that price is eventually going to run away from that fair value gap, maybe next week. I took a couple of trades that didn't work out well, like gold did not work out well, and I took a trade on CAD JPY, which at some point it was in profit, but later started to misbehave, came down to my entry point after being in so much profit. There's no need coming down to my entry point, but I knew the reason why it came down there, but I didn't want to hold the trade. I had to scratch, and I closed the trade at break even. Yes, at break even. But maybe next week we will see another opportunity on CAD JPY, because we are currently inside a daily fair value gap, which was, I think, the reason for that retracement, considering the fact we also had a run from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Thursday and Friday were like, okay, let's go down to the fair value gap and retest it. And I didn't want to hold that trade, because if I did hold the trade, I might have lost the trade or be in a deep drawdown, which I didn't want. So I had to close at break even. So those are the trades I took: gold, CAD JPY, and BTC. The 3 trades I took this week. But for the BTC, it was a winning trade, a very nice trade. This week was a bad week, if I may say so. It was a bad week because I lost some money. So, but notwithstanding, we are still in profit, about $80, like $87 in profit. From $300, we are back to $87 in profit. Hopefully, if the market plays out very well next week, we might actually make some money. Always believe in yourself. I think there is hope that we'll make profit in the long run. So next week is another week we are going to go back, test our edge, and try to see if we'll make profit. But let me show you what the trade I took look like and why I took them. But before we do that, let us go to my trading journal to see how we journal the trade. So guys, this is my trading journal. I told you guys I took about 3 trades this week, and as you can see here, CAD JPY was the first trade, SAUSD and BTC, the 10th, the 13th, and the 14th of November, the dates that I took those trades. So let's look at CAD JPY first. This is when I took the trade. As you can see, I don't have the picture when we close the trade, but I think I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to update this journal. This was when I took the trade. As you can see, we hit this fair value gap here and we started to move up. We had this fair value gap down here, but because we have tested this and we are moving up, I decided to take the trade, which is valid, right? So we are moving, and we eventually went into profit, but that did not sustain for a very long time, and I had to close the trade. So the trade was taken on the 10th of November on the 4-hour time frame using the bullish fair value gap and during the London kill zone. This is the note, and you can see break even at $3, and I followed my rules for this one. So the next trade is SAUSD, which is gold, bullish setup for gold. You know, gold is resuming the bullishness, which we still have opportunity to take a good setup on gold. For next week, we still have a good setup to take advantage of next week, but for this week we took a loss on gold. I'm going to show you the screenshot. So this is a screenshot. You can see how we tapped into this fair value gap. This is like an institutional order flow entry drill, and I took my position here with hope that we are going to run towards this swing high or buy side liquidity, but eventually we didn't, and we dropped down and took a loss on this account. And if you see very closely, we have a bag which is breakaway gap that I did not expect price to come back into it. Maybe after we have taken out this high, then price can drop down into this breakaway gap, but price decided to do it first before. So we are going to next week, we might actually use this breakaway gap as our POI to target this drawn liquidity. So this trade was actually taken on the 13th of November on the 4-hour time frame, bullish fair value gap, New York kill zone. This is the note. We took a loss at about $58, which is 0.5% or 0.6% of my account. Rules followed. So the last trade is BTC. The BTC was a bearish setup because I had sentiments to target the monthly fair value gap, which we did eventually tag, and I'm hoping that price is going to run higher from there, but I'm going to wait for better confirmation before I can be able to anticipate that bullish run. But this is the screenshot coming up. Yes, beautiful delivery. As you can see, when we go to the chart, I'm going to break down this price action here, and you can see that we did run into that monthly fair value gap here. Beautiful delivery on this one. It pained me that I did not maximize the profit on this account because of NZD and CAD JPY. But now we're standing, next week we go again. So the 14th of November on the 4-hour time frame, bullish fair value gap, London kill zone. The note, it was a winning trade, and we had $50 in profit on this one. I risked about $18 on this account, on this trade, and made $50, which is nice. So these are the trades I took this week, 3 of them. So I'm going to take you to my trading view and show you those trades, and also tell you why I took those trades. So to the trading view. So to my trading view. Welcome back. This is trading view. So I think I'm going to start off with let's start off with CAD JPY. Okay, CAD JPY, as you already know, This is a fair value gap that I told you that we mitigated. This one here, let me just do this one here, the fair value gap that we mitigated, and you can see I took a position. You can see how deep we went into profit here, and price started to run lower. So after that, I closed the trade at this point here. That was where I closed the trade, and you can see that we had a deep run into this breakaway gap, which is now a daily fair value gap. I will show you in a bit. So I didn't want to hold the trade, so I had to close it in break even. If not, I would have taken a full hit on this account, which is also a nice idea to do, which is also a nice thing to do. So if I take you to the daily time frame, you can see that this is the fair value gap here, and you can see how we dropped into it. We have respected it. You can see I'm very, very certain that next week we are going to continue running higher. Guys, this is a tip. This is not a financial advice, but you know what I mean. So next week I'm going to look for a bullish setup on CAD JPY, potentially to target this weekly fair value gap. This is my drone liquidity, guys. I'm going to look forward to do this because we have seen external range liquidity, we drop into internal range liquidity. What are we going to do next? Target external range liquidity and potentially tag this weekly fair value gap. So this is a valid trade idea for next week, a valid trade idea next week. You can see looking nice. So the next trade is SAUUSD, which is gold. Now what for you? So guys, you can see gold, why I took this trade. This was the breakaway gap. Before this run, I thought price was going to come into this before we continue, but that did not happen. So I saw this massive run to the upside, and we then created this fair value gap. When price triggered it as an institutional order flow entry trail, and we started to run up, my hope was, okay, we are going to tag this swing high before retracing back potentially into this breakaway gap. I took that position here. I took the position here. Then a little bit in profit, and we started to retrace back. Eventually we were stopped out, and price did what? Come into that breakaway gap. You can see where my stop loss was. If I had before, what I would do is, or for some of you that used to increase your stop loss, you can see you continue to increase your stop loss until you encounter this kind of thing. This is going to be a huge loss in your account. It's better to close trades that are not going to work out and move on. You will see opportunities in abundance, so there's no need to hold on to a trade that is not going to work out. So it's better close them if they are not working out and wait for another opportunity. Reposition yourself, which I'm going to reposition myself. Now we have tagged the breakaway gap here. We have a bearish fair value gap. What I'm going to look for is either we create a bullish fair value gap countering this, or we invert this fair value gap, making it an inversion fair value gap. Once that occurs, then it's going to be a buy for me. I'm going to use that to target this buy side liquidity. So this is the trade I took on gold, SAUUSD. So let's see the Bitcoin trade. Sweet delivery. So for the Bitcoin trade, you can see what we had here is we had this massive drop close to this monthly fair value gap, and we did not tag it. This is not random. Price, forget. You can see we push up a little bit, then we drop. Remember when we came down here, we took out this sell side liquidity here. then we push up a little bit, we drop, we fail to do this. What are we doing? We are creating liquidity. Then we move up again, creating a fair value gap. We drop into it, respected it, still forgetting to tag this monthly fair value gap, and we run higher, creating higher prices. And where were we going? Into this daily fair value gap, and you can see we came close to it and we did not tag it. We retrace a little bit into this indecision candle, and we use that as what? An order block. Look at the nice price action, very rapid, and you can see the candle that went into that fair value gap. To mitigate it, we created what? Institutional order flow entry drill. This was just a poke into the fair value gap, and you can see how price melted. I was active looking at this fair value gap that I was going to take a trade here, but this bullish run that closed above that fair value gap made me to lose hope. And after the next hour, I saw this move lower. When I saw that, I said, okay, this movement has reinvalidated the idea that we are going to trade into this monthly fair value gap. All I need to do is to wait for price to create a 4-hour bearish fair value gap, which we are going to use as our point of interest to target the drawn liquidity, which is what we have here. You can see the same thing that happened here repeated here. Price violated the fair value gap, but on my broker, the fair value gap that we are seeing here, that is like this, was actually like this on my broker, very wide. So I waited for price to give me confirmation again. Then we saw this bearish candle. The first one opened and closed bearish. When the second one opened, I took a sell position. For the first 2 hours, price was misbehaving, just going into losses, putting me in emotional roller coaster. But I was looking at something. I looked at the hours here. If you look closely to this, just look at my cursor. If you look closely here to the current price, you will see under it, you will see a timestamp indicating when the next candle is going to close. So I was busy looking at that, and I had about 3 hours plus for the current candle to close. So I was looking at, okay, the first 2 hours is going to be sort of manipulation or protraction phase of that current 4-hour candle, which was very, very accurate. For the first 2 hours, we encountered manipulation and protraction. For the last 2 hours, that was when we started to see displacement, continuation of price movement to the downside, and it was a very sweet delivery. You can see we took out this liquidity and we tagged this monthly fair value gap. So this is the trade I took on what? On BTC USD. So guys, I'm going to put the P&L for the week somewhere in the screen here so that you guys will see where we're at. I'm giving you real results here. I'm not editing anything. Real results. What I did in the account is what I'm going to show you. Pure proof, guys. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, like the video, hit the bell notification button so that you get notified whenever I drop any video. Do well to also leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you like about my trading. Are there things I need to improve? Are there things I need to also like tweak? Other than that, see you next week, and I wish you happy and good trading next week. Bye bye.